Ghana's vice president has blasted Donald Trump for terminating the USAID.
Somebody's asking about the outside world and foreign aid, and I've heard the president of the country you are studying in slashing aid. You see, one of the questions we have now, he hasn't asked himself, how much leaves our continent to his country? He hasn't asked himself that. They think it's just charity. It is not. At the right time, we'll also take action. And it will not be funny. If a fraction of the things from our continent stayed, we'll have no problem with our youth. We'll have no problem with sanitation.
America has the right to recalibrate and freeze its international assistance to other countries, but there's always a blowback. One, America loses soft power because USAID is a well-known brand of America and it intervenes in very critical areas. And so if America decides that it doesn't want to intervene in those areas, it is possible that other countries might decide to fill that gap, or we might fill it ourselves like we're trying to do now, adjusting our budgets to fill the gap that America leaves. But it loses the influence that it has exerted over the years. Apart from that, it's not only in those areas. USAID is the biggest supplier of food aid in many places, and they buy this food aid from American farmers. And so if USAID is no longer buying that food to deliver as food aid, then it means that American farmers lose a huge demand that, assisted them in their business. And so there's always a blowback. There are a lot of connectivities, and we'll see how it plays out. The Trump playbook is still playing out. We're all watching what is happening. But as I've always said, disruptions lead to new world orders. And so this is a disruption that is happening. I'm sure that maybe a new world order will be born out of it.
But to understand everything about the USAID, let's first look at what is it and how it all started. In the year 1961, President John F. Kennedy launched USAID under the Foreign Assistance Act, aiming to promote global stability through democracy, economic growth, and crisis relief. For decades, it has funded health, education, and infrastructure across the world, including Africa. But here we are in 2025. President Trump has terminated the USAID funding.
As President Trump calls for USAID to be shut down.
It's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job.
The decision sparked outrage, with the leaders from South Africa to Ghana calling it betrayal. One of the most vocal critics is Ghana's Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. And here is what Prof is saying about Trump's termination of the USAID.
Somebody's asking about the outside world and foreign aid, and I've heard the president of the country you are studying in slashing aid. You see, one of the questions we have now, he hasn't asked himself, how much leaves our continent to his country? He hasn't asked himself that. They think it's just charity. It is not. At the right time, we'll also take action. And it will not be funny. If a fraction of the things from our continent stayed, we'll have no problem with our youth. We'll have no problem with sanitation. Children begging in the streets, women delivering on the floor. It will not happen. And nobody will dare call us third world country. Okay. Climate action, you own the factories. Who is responsible for all the trouble we are all in? Was it at the, I've forgotten the city in South Africa. No, South America. When the agreement in the 70s was signed, who pulled out? You know, I know. Now all of a sudden, we are responsible for less than 5%, and it's like we should carry the burden. We should all carry the burden, and we should look at where the whole thing starts. and let people take responsibility and stop passing on their responsibility to the people they are disenfranchising. We need everybody's voice. You are from Harvard School of Kennedy School and MIT. We need your voices too. Now you see how everybody is boycotting the things your country is producing. Why is the world angry? That's a good question. And again, it will take a whole day to interrogate that. But it's a symptom of what has been going on for too long. How can one country, Niger was profiting by its own, is it one of the minerals? Yes. Every kilo, they got 83 cents. And they turn around and sell it for 200 euros. Niger said enough. Within 1 year, they used to get 1 billion or so. Now they're getting over 10 billion. How can they fix their country? So, and in terms of bringing the country together, their identity, and I've traced where things started, as Achebe put it in one of his novels, where the rain began to beat us, to the extent that even young girls don't know what is beautiful. Somebody is deciding that for them. How will their confidence build up? And all the domination and intimidation and so on, they don't help us very much. But we also learn it from the school and the church. They've been very good agents at robbing us of who we truly are. When you look down on your language, you look down on yourself. Your culture, everything there is of the devil, or whatever they call it. It's a very, very negative, the both connotations are negative, denotations are negative, and that is one area where the two negatives don't become a positive. So it's something we need to strive at. Once certain things are popularized and praised above existing, then you've also mentally become very dependent. And it's a hard road to freedom, as Nelson Mandela says. But it's a road nonetheless, and we should travel that road, however difficult. Thank you.
As debate over aid versus equity intensify, African nations are looking for alternatives, like Niger's move to renegotiate its mineral contract, which has helped increase revenue from $1 billion to over $10 billion in a year. With foreign aid shrinking, one question lingers: what happens next in US-African relations? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that is all for today's episode. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Macrao.